A purposeless purpose. That is going to be the name and the title of this segment. You see, the experience of man is meaningful to man when you're really just looking at you. So you see how you have a sense of other, you have a sense of other people, and how you have a sense of yourself. Well, it may be understood that what we, in a sense, configure in our lives is different meanings being implied by different gazes, which are, in a sense, different levels of accepting thought. So in a sense, problems begin because there's a body to be problematic. And so in a world where we have bodies, we realize our body's changing and so is another person. So how can one person, for example, discover the experience of another person? How can you feel another's pain? How can you know intuitively? How can you see that something very personal and very individual, specific to you, is also present to another? Human beings are physically separate because that is the style and gear of body we choose to have. But your consciousness, once it discovers the one language that is always being spoken, we realize that consciousness is a recognition outside of any form, but as form, time and space stop, the halt of centuries begins over. Our consciousness is, at first, in my view of approach, something we can never touch. But once you have walked through the coal, you shall remember the feet that were always able to walk over the coal. A purposeless purpose suggests the fact that in our life process, we are aware that as an immediate cause point in this moment of our being, our effect is expressive in many ways. And to be aware of, in a sense, the butterfly effect means to share the insight of the caterpillar, that came through different senses of change. Right now, humanity is understanding experience very differently. We're not acknowledging some experiences being had, and so we're not working with a solid enough foundation. The problem with assumptions is that they either anchor you somewhere, or they create anchors in the future. Assumption is fine, language is fine, but I have found a different table to write my notes on, or to read notes from. So I want you to, for a second, visualize that, let's say you breathe calmly, look at the sky, and just send out the most positive, in a sense, the most beneficial surprise of a blessing that is going to enter your life. You just ask for this. It doesn't matter who you pray to. It doesn't matter if you call it a prayer or not. If you project this and you say this with a sense of purpose, you will see that you are conditioned to want results immediately, but because you're not getting it, you're bummed down, I guess you're not satisfied. But that's the thing. Because once you make that greater calling, once you begin to walk, the path will find you. The path will be formed around you. Many people seek teachers, and they find that teachers can take their purposelessness away by giving them a more fixed purpose. But the teacher eventually turns into your glimpse and the person who is holding the pen of your imagination. You can begin to perceive all saintly qualities and at the same time all non-saintly qualities, within the same person. Once you see that you're in a sense extracting value by first imposing value, a subconscious value on who a person is you're communicating to, you're ignoring the fundamental experience that your greater sense of awareness is having. You choose how unconscious you are. You choose if you wash your face in the morning. And I guess, in a sense, as we continue our steps into our own faith of path, we will realize the path that will resonate with us is one that is acknowledging all senses of ourself at any point in time. Your child self, visualize every sense of self you've ever had until this moment right beside you. Now that is a very insane thing when you see your multi-purpose. What that means is that when you, as a being, reach a certain recognition of self-awareness that your experience is connected to many other experiences occurring within the present, what comes to be the most noble act is the one of not renouncing your reality, but by allowing and creating a bridge. You only need to renounce the world if you feel you can't get out of it. But if I'm here and if my eyes are opening to this level of reality, this sensitivity, this amount of experience, then good, bro. The ambitions of a blind man to see through different eyes. Once you are applying yourself to your purpose, you have to be detached from that which you are navigating with a perfect attachment to. What that means is that, guys, based on the damn cartoons and the weird family values that media promotes in you, your acknowledgement of self is limited unless you explore it personally, without anyone else's interruption. So your words, your thoughts, your unique energetic presence is valuable, but you need to find the meaning in your life. It's not that there's just one meaning to life. You are alive and you are a meaningful expression. Because you can be self-aware in that manner to explore yourself. So when we talk about existence, we must work with the sensitivity of not shouting something in regards to promotion, but to, in a sense, suggest a sense of ability of every listener of life to hear what's here differently. There's an ambition within you. It is relevant to every story you have told yourself. Because I'll tell you guys, the moments where I have felt the greatest amounts of bliss is and has been when I've been in my greatest moment of observant transformation. I've seen my world turn, and in that turn, as it spins to change, I have seen the meaninglessness, the purposelessness in all my purposes, in all moments of conception, in any view. And that is profound to grasp, because it is that beauty that implies greater manifestation. Much blessings on that.